Welcome to the Your Mac Life show, number 1047 for Wednesday, this crazy April Fool's, April the 1st, 2015. Thanks for joining us. Today's show, as always, we'll be chatting with Jim Dalrymple from The Loop at loopinsight.com. And we'll also be talking about the Steve Jobs biography and Apple's role in it. Photographic perceptions, can't read my own writing, oh dear, and the prizes that we have to give away from these great companies, which are Pad and Quill, Agile Bits.
.com.
Yes, they're all .com, oloclip.com, and runningwithcrayons.com.
Or alfredapp.com.
alfredapp.com, yes. And now, here is your amazing host, King by name, princess by nature.
Oh, come on.
Shawn King.
Oh, man. That's just cold. I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know what she's going to say in that, and I'm going to have to start writing the script for her because that's just mean. That's just mean. You'll notice, though, folks, that the visuals have changed. We've got the lovely and gorgeous YML Kim is now on board on camera, but no longer view of the mountains in behind me, unfortunately, because I've been banished out of the mountains. And but Kim, you banished me out of the mountain view and put me in what?
I put you in the man cave.
Hold it up. There you go. Man cave. No girls allowed unless they have food. Where did you get that silly sign?
In a garden store, believe it or not, in Chilliwack. Yeah.
What were you doing in a garden store?
Just looking at the pretty flowers.
Ah, okay.
Because I don't touch them because they die.
Why do they die?
I do not have green thumbs, fingers, whatever the hell it is you're supposed to have to keep plants alive. Yeah.
Are you saying you're in some way toxic?
Yes.
That's not a good sign.
Mm-hmm. To plants only.
Oh, okay.
Animals are safe.
That's good. That's good to hear. Mm-hmm. So yeah, as Kim mentioned, we're going to talk to Jim. Have any of you read the Steve Jobs biography? The Becoming Steve Jobs is the new biography from, I think it's a Wall Street Journal reporter and somebody else. Apparently a couple of guys who knew Jobs quite well, at least one of the guys knew Jobs quite well. Not necessarily a personal friend, but certainly someone that was familiar with Jobs. And it's very interesting to hear executives at Apple talking about the biography in not only glowing terms, but also simultaneously slamming the Isaacson book, the authorized biography of Steve Jobs. A biography that interviewed the same people, had permission from Jobs to be written. The people that Isaacson interviewed were encouraged by Jobs to be interviewed by him. So it's interesting to see that apparently these folks at Apple didn't like what came out of those interviews. And so they've been very supportive of this new effort. We'll talk about Apple's role in that support a little later on in the show. We'll also be talking about, in the photography segment, for photographic perceptions. Something I teach in my class is, as I think it was Ansel Adams said, there are two people in every photograph. There is the photographer and there's the viewer. And sometimes they're the same person. But oftentimes we take photos to show to other people. And that other person's life informs the photo. Their knowledge informs the photo. And you can take advantage of that in your photography. And I'll explain more about that later on in the show. And as Kim said, we've got a bunch of prizes to give away in the month of April from some great companies. oloclip.com is giving away their lens system. Agile Bits is giving away a copy of 1Password, my favorite password manager. The folks at Pad and Quill are giving away iPhone cases, padandquill.com. And who am I missing? There's one more I'm missing.
Running with Crayons.
Running with Crayons. The Alfred app. I love Alfred. I use it all day, every day. Are giving away. Alfred is free, but their power pack, I think it's $30 for the power pack. alfredapp.com will be giving away all those prizes during the shows in the month of April. And if you haven't yet filled out a entry form, it's easy. Go to the website, yourmaclifeshow.com. Right at the top of the page, it says Friends of Your Mac Life entry form. Fill that out with a real email address, not a fake one. I'm not going to sell your email address or give it to other people. Don't worry about that. And that sends me an email, which I then drop into our virtual hat. And you have to do that each month. But if you subscribe to Your Mac Life, if you pay $2 or $5 or $10 or $50, whatever amount of money it is per month, I put your name in the hat on your behalf. So you don't got to worry about it. You just do one subscription, comes out of your PayPal account or your major credit card each month. I get sent money, and I drop your name into the hat. And as a bonus for subscribing, I give you additional entry forms for every $2 above the original $2. So you subscribe for $5, you get 3 entries. 3. You get 1, and then for 2, no, you're right, 2. Yeah, I'll make it 3. I can't do math. But you get extra entry forms for every $2 of subscription. So that way you can support Your Mac Life and also be able to get extra entries for the prize draw. I said something to Kim this afternoon. I said I bought some more stuff on Amazon.com. What did you say?
I said, what?
And I said, don't worry about it. It was with free money.
Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, of course. Free money. Where'd you get that from? Yeah.
And it kind of, geez, the hairball. And it kind of is free money because if people go to the website and click on the links, the Amazon links that I have on the left-hand side, and then they buy something on Amazon, not that thing, but anything on Amazon, Amazon gives us a little bit of a kickback. It's literally pennies on the dollar. But those pennies add up. And once a month, Amazon sends me Amazon bucks that I can use to buy stuff on Amazon. So that's what I mean by free money.
Oh, that's
so I bought
cool.
$200 worth of photography stuff on Amazon.com, a couple of filters and a soft shoe for lighting. And it didn't cost me anything because of the money that folks, they didn't donate it when they went and bought their usual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me a few extra pennies, and over a couple of months, it adds up to a couple $100, and I spend it on photo stuff and bike stuff.
That's cool.
I actually, you know what? I bought that pigtail clip I've been looking for USB. Remember, I've been looking all over the place for this thing. On a motorcycle, you can plug in electronics
for GPS.
For GPS, because most GPSs don't last. My motorcycle trips can last 8-9 hours. GPS for most dedicated GPSs only last 2-3 hours. So what I've done is I've got a connector coming from the battery of the motorcycle, and there's this little doohickey on the end, and you plug your USB connector into the doohickey, and that powers your iPhone or your Android phone or a camera or, in my case, a GPS. So that's what I'm using that thing there for. Marcus says, Shawn, have you looked into Patreon? Could be good for the show. Look it up when you can. I have, Marcus, but it's just so much work. They want you to do videos, and they want you to write stuff, and they want you to do all this other stuff that I think it's a good point, but I think that just asking folks right up front is as easy as Patreon. If you want to support Your Mac Life, just subscribe for $2 a month. With nothing. $2 a month. If we got 1,000 people subscribing for $2 a month, in 2 months, our next show is going to be in Cabo. I think, no, not in 2 months, because 2 months it would be April, May, June. That'd be too hot to go to Cabo.
I like it hot.
Yeah. Let's plan on this. We can do a show remotely. Hang on, I'm thinking this as I go. Remotely in November in someplace warm. Pick a warm spot that you want to be in November. Come on. All right, Cuba. How's that? Want to go to Cuba?
Sure. I've not been there. Yes.
Let's be the first Mac podcasters to broadcast from Cuba in November.
Will we have all the gear we need?
Yes.
Can we take it all with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool.
So that's what folks can do. They can subscribe to Your Mac Life for the Cuba trip.
Mm-hmm.
You know what we'll do? We'll even do, okay, so.
We'll take you to Cuba.
So what people can do is and if we get enough money, this is a contingent on getting enough money, obviously. We're not spending our own damn money. We're spending your money.
We'll spend some of our own money.
Oh, it's fine. We'll spend some of our own money. But only those folks who subscribe to the Cuba trip will get the live video and the pictures and that kind of stuff as it happens. Everyone will have to wait till we come back.
How can you do that?
I'll figure it a way.
Okay.
There's a way to do it.
Tech dude. You hate dude, don't you?
I
Sorry.
really do.
Sorry.
You think we could do that?
Sure, if you say we can. I'm all in. It's Cuba. It's hot.
Macman says, I'll be in Cancun at the end of November.
Nice.
Long weekend coming up.
Easter.
It's a longer weekend for us in Canada than it is for our American friends.
They don't celebrate Easter?
Was that true in the UK? Did you have a Good Friday holiday in the UK?
Yes.
Americans don't.
Good Friday and Easter Monday.
Exactly. Americans Americans don't celebrate Easter Monday.
Why?
I don't know. I never understood that. Because Easter Sunday is already a holiday. It's already a day off. You should get Monday off. But Americans only celebrate Good Friday and Easter Sunday.
Oh.
And so they get screwed out of a day off. That's not fair.
Shame.
They work hard. They should get an extra day off.
Yeah.
You should tell your boss that because of religious objections, you're taking Monday off.
I think we get too many stats off.
What?
There's at least one stat, I think, every month of the year in Canada.
There should be. People work hard. They should get at least one day a month off.
If you're an employer, though, you have to pay people.
Too bad.
I was an employer before, and it was frustrating that you have to pay people.
Too
for a
bad.
day off. Really? You guys celebrate things here that we don't celebrate in England.
Like what?
Like you celebrate, I think, Victoria Day.
Wait. What do you mean you don't celebrate Victoria Day? You're English.
Yeah, we don't have Victoria Day.
She's your freaking queen.
No, she's dead.
Doesn't
Long time
matter.
dead. And I think you have another one that's the Queen's birthday or something.
It's
You
not a
have,
holiday. We acknowledge it, but it's not a holiday.
oh, okay. But there's a couple of them that are supposedly English based.
Well, May is Victoria Day.
We don't. Oh, I know one. Remembrance Day.
Brits don't celebrate Remembrance Day?
Well, we don't celebrate it. We
Acknowledge
remember and acknowledge it, yes, but everybody's still at work and at school. We don't have a day off for
Really?
it. No.
I didn't know that.
No.
You should.
No, we shouldn't. It's a serious matter. You should take, 2 minutes silence?
Yes.
Right. And that's what everyone does. We take 2 minutes silence at, I think it's 11 o'clock in the morning.
11:11.
Yeah. Everybody at school, at
Yes.
work, everybody stops. The radio goes silent,
Yes.
BBC, everything. And that's the way it should be.
Yes.
But if everybody's off having a freaking day off, partying or drinking or what, how is that a good way of remembering Remembrance Day?
I don't think that's how it's celebrated. Certainly it wasn't in my family. It wasn't in my city of Halifax when I was growing up. It was a very somber day. It was a day because my dad was in the military that we went down to the cenotaph and we watched the old veterans parade by and we remembered the soldiers on Remembrance Day. It wasn't a party for us. Actually, people have gotten in trouble in Canada.
That's the way you were raised.
Yeah, we'll have to hear from other folks. Sherry says, we don't have a day off for Remembrance Day here in Ontario either. I didn't know that.
I know BC just takes
Nova Scotia
any
had a day off too.
flipping holiday they can grab, and they're off.
Huh. I didn't know that. We'll talk more about that. Later on the show, we're going to talk about photography perceptions and how you can use people's perceptions and knowledge of a subject matter to your advantage in your photographs. We'll also be giving away prizes. Our YML Prize Girl Kim will be on talking about which prize she is going to be giving away on tonight's show. But up next, our good friend Jim Dalrymple from The Loop will be joining us on the show to talk about Steve Jobs' bio and a bunch of other stuff. This is Your Mac Life. Welcome back, folks. This is Your Mac Life. I am Shawn King, joined on our phone now by our good friend Jim Dalrymple of The Loop at loopinsight.com. Jim, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I am good. Hang on, I don't have your volume up nearly loud enough. There we go. Let's see if that works any better. Jim, you still there?
What?
Jesus, why can't I hear Jim? I can just hang on, Jim. I can just barely hear you in the microphone. Don't know why that's all of a sudden. Okay, try that, Jim. Can you hear me now?
Well,
All right.
turn me up.
There we go. There we go. Bumped you up. You couldn't make the UL conference, but you were at the UL conference. Explain what the hell went on there yesterday.
So they had one of these robots in Ireland, and last night I dialed into the robot, and it used my camera on my MacBook Pro and put my face on the face of the robot. So then I could move around using the keys on my keyboard. I could like walk the robot around.
Wait a minute. You were controlling the robot?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I saw the picture, but I didn't realize you were actually controlling the robot. That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it was cool. So, yeah, I was controlling the robot. My face was on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going up and saying hi to people and bumping into people. And that was great.
So kind of the same things you normally do when you drink Heineken.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. There wasn't much difference.
I tried to pick a fight and everything, and you could make the screen with my face on it. You could make it go up and down. So when people would make me mad, I'd put the face down or put the whole screen down, and it would start lowering on the robot. Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you were able to make.
I got all kinds of pictures that people sent me of me wandering around the room.
Oh yeah, I saw a lot of them on Twitter. They were very funny. Well, I'm glad you got to make at least an appearance at the UL conference. I know it's one of your favorite conferences. It's a shame you couldn't have made it. Any April Fool's jokes that caught your eye today?
I hate April Fools. It's just so stupid.
It really is, isn't it?
What kind of grown people do April Fools?
Is that what it is? Is it just us getting old or older that we no longer like? Did you pull April Fool's pranks when you were a kid?
Us getting stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I mean, people write fake stories. Ooh, you're so clever. Really.
Writing a fake story now and then is okay, but I'm sorry, as much as I love Adam and Tanya Inks at Tidbits, it's really predictable now, kids. Okay, stop. We know you're going to write a fake story, several fake stories. No one's fooled anymore. Just stop doing it.
I have no patience for April Fools. I really don't.
I don't remember doing a whole lot when I was a kid. I mean, you might have done something to your little brother, but for me, it was never any large-scale kind of April Fool's. The only April Fool's joke I've ever pulled was actually, I believe, the last time April Fool's was on a Wednesday. And I announced on the show that I sent out a press release that morning and sent out an announcement that I was going to be stopping Your Mac Life. This was about 10 years ago. And it was very funny to see 4 different news outlets including Mac Central, pick up on the story and announce that Shawn King is leaving Your Mac Life, blah, blah, blah. Not a single one of those people ever bothered to email me and confirm the information with me. To say, hey, is this true, Shawn?
You're one of those annoying people. You annoy me too. But you annoy me even without April Fools. I mean, you're just annoying.
Well, that's fair. Our friend Vito Mori wrote on Twitter, he says, I hate April 1st. I can't read a thing on the net without questioning its authenticity. I said, dude, to be fair, you should always be doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
But certainly today. And the other thing that gets me about today is I don't understand how any company could make any announcements today. I mean, we still get press releases from numbnuts who post things. I ignore all of them. I delete every single press release I get on April Fool's Day. I think they're all bullshit. Why would you announce a real product? I mean, Gmail, Google got caught in this, I guess about 8-9 years ago when they announced Gmail on the 1st of April. And everyone thought it was a prank. They thought it was a joke. Amazon, people thought the Amazon doohickey that they announced yesterday was part of April Fool's joke. You today said something on Twitter people thought was an April Fool's joke. You just can't say anything on this day without people thinking it's an April Fool's joke. Just don't say anything. Wait till tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. People thought the Loop magazine was taken off the App Store today, and I posted on Twitter about it because I was, really upset about it, and people thought it was a joke.
Yep.
No, it's not.
Speaking of things, I
get up out of sleeping in my cardboard box from the underpass, and then there's no app.
For those folks
that upset you.
For those folks who didn't listen to last week's Amplified, apparently Jim's living out of a Frigidaire box now.
No, I live in the Frigidaire box.
In the Frigidaire box.
Under the overpass.
Under the overpass. I got to get those things right. But you got pretty decent Wi-Fi there.
Well, LTE and stuff.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. One of the things I saw on the news that I thought for sure was an April Fool's joke because it just sounds so utterly idiotic, especially the way the media reported this. The New York Times will bring one-sentence stories to the Apple Watch. Have you seen this?
Isn't that called a headline?
Exactly! This is not a story. It's a tweet. To call it what it is, it's a freaking tweet. It's not a story. This to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you think I'm wrong on this, Jim, to me this feels just like the New York Times trying to be relevant to the Apple Watch, trying to find some desperate way to say, oh, please look at us on your Apple Watch.
Yep, I agree.
I
agree. I mean, it's not bad for them to be there, sure. But, that's the way it is.
I think it's pointless to even. It just feels like they're trying to wedge themselves into the Apple Watch in a way that there's no way it could ever be useful.
Well, are you going to release an Apple Watch app?
No, I think I'll hold off. I want to see if it's a success first.
Well, what do you mean, yes? Aren't you crazy? Yes, it's going to be a success.
You know what? I absolutely think the Apple Watch is going to be a success. It's not going to be the success of the iPhone. I think it'll be a success like the iPod in the sense that it will slowly ramp up and then hit something where it will just jump. But I don't think it'll ever be the tens of millions on a weekend kind of thing. Our friend Ben Bajarin of TechPinions.com has said he thinks Apple will sell 1 million in the first weekend. I wouldn't disagree with Ben on almost anything. He's got the numbers. He knows what he's talking about. But I can't see it being a blockbuster iPhone-like sales path. If Apple sells as many iPhones or Apple Watches as iPads, I think they'd be very, very happy.
Well, I do too. Do you think that? So you don't think it's going to sell 1 million?
No, I'm saying I don't know, and I wouldn't disagree with Ben. So I'll give Ben his due and say I'll go with Ben's number. I have no personal guess myself. I think it's going to be interesting to see if Apple announces any numbers. I think if Apple doesn't announce at least 1 million, it means they sold less than that. Apple's not going to announce they sold 500,000. Apple's going to say 1 million or more.
You never know, because this is a brand new product.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, no matter what they sell, it's going to be more than the stuff that Samsung does.
That's fair, yeah.
Apple sold 34 Apple Watches. Doubled the what Samsung sold all of last year.
Exactly. In the same time period. Although I was really pissed off. I don't know if you read the story I posted on The Loop. Really pissed off in the New York Times. They wrote a story about this thing called Basel World in Switzerland, which is the expo for all the high-end watch manufacturers. And if you read the story and click through on some of the watches that they talk about, oh my God, there are $500,000 watches on display at Basel World. This is a black tie event. This is a high-end event that people like Jim and I would not be allowed in the front door of.
I wouldn't even be allowed in the city the same time that event is going on.
They'd stop me at the airport and go, "I'm sorry, sir. You're not."
Yeah. Get back on the plane.
Go back on the plane.
Where the hell do you think you're going?
But how the hell could the New York Times write a story about the most important event in the luxury watch market and literally get not a single comment from anybody about the Apple Watch?
Airplane.
Okay, we'll wait.
That's a good question, you know. I don't know.
That to me just seems like really shitty reporting.
I saw something, I think it was in the news, or I can't remember where, but what's a high-end company that starts with an M? Movada or something?
Movada? Yeah, I've seen watches called Movados. I don't know if they're high-end. Movado.
Oh, well, they said that they were high-end watch people.
Yeah.
So with those watches, they said that they were going to make up for, slowing sales by raising prices.
That'll work.
That'll work. Really?
But they showed.
So there you go.
The New York Times article was showing off watches like the avant-garde MB&F HM6 Space Pirate, which is just a fucking ridiculous name for a watch, for $200,000.
That's the name of a watch?
That's the name of a watch.
I thought that was the name of a 70s disco band.
The Space Pirates. That's right. But if you go to the story and look at this watch, that is the $200,000.
I'm not buying anything with a name like that for $200,000.
For I swear to God, one of the ugliest watches you will ever see in your life. Dude, you got to go to the website and look at this. It's the HM6 Space Pirate. Horological Machine number 6 Space Pirate. Designed to operate in the hostile environment of space. The space on your wrist. What the hell?
There's nothing hostile about my wrist.
Nothing at all.
My fist is hostile sometimes, but my wrist is just fine.
It's just amazing that these people think, because you hear some of them say, "Oh, we're not worried about the Apple Watch." You frickin' better be worried about the Apple Watch, okay? Because if this is the kind of crap you're putting out, people are going to be looking at the Apple Watches going, "Well, you know, it's not a."
First off, change the name.
Yes.
The space rocket just doesn't do it.
It's just unbelievably ugly. I'm sure for those folks who are watching the video on the show right now, you can see this thing. This is just the most spectacularly ugliest watch you'll ever see in your life for $200,000.
No.
And yet somehow,
no.
Again, getting back to the point, somehow the folks at the New York Times wrote a story about the high-end watch market without ever mentioning Apple by name, without ever getting a quote from anybody. Of the 150,000 attendees, didn't get a single quote from anybody about the Apple Watch. That's just, I'm sorry, that's just shitty journalism.
Maybe the New York Times is an enthusiast then.
That could be it. That just might be it.
I may be reaching here, but I'm trying.
And why are you trying? Well, I don't understand. Why are you even bothering?
Well, I don't know.
Hey, have you had a
Sometimes
chance?
I just don't know.
You just don't know. Have you had a chance to play? Well, you did. You were at the Apple demo with the new MacBooks. I was over the weekend. I went into our local Apple store and had the guy. I told the guy, I said, "Give me a demo of Force Touch." And as he's demoing it, I said to the guy, I said, "Are you sure this is one of the new MacBooks?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "One of the new MacBooks with Force Touch?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I don't understand. It doesn't feel any different." He said, No, it's actually, it is the Force Touch trackpad. And I was calling bullshit in the guy. Did you get the same impression when you were using it? It feels like the trackpad is actually moving.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's pretty cool, I think.
It is. Once I believed the guy, once I realized he wasn't trying to pull the wool over my eyes, and I realized it was, in fact, the keyboard was not moving. It was, I guess, vibrating. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Once I realized that the keyboard was actually giving that haptic feedback, it became really freaking cool. The fact that trackpad was not moving up and down. It was, I don't know, I guess kind of vibrating. It was just insanely cool.
I really liked it. It took some getting used to, that and the keyboards, but I really liked it. I'm literally under an overpass right now.
In a Frigidaire box.
I'm going to look and see if maybe there's like a washer and dryer box that's bigger than the Frigidaire box. I decorate that bad boy up. Look at it.
We've been talking a lot about the Steve Jobs biography, Becoming Steve Jobs, written with, obviously, the approval, as we've seen, of the folks at Apple. What do you think of the reaction from executives at Apple, not only about the Becoming Steve Jobs book, but the backlash over the Walter Isaacson's book, the authorized biography?
What the hell?
Did you just run over a cow, dude?
That's the noisiest little moped I've ever seen in my life. I almost threw something at that guy. And he had his head down like he was doing 90 miles an hour, too.
That's right, yeah. He was selling. He was definitely moving.
Oh, yeah, he was selling that. It is interesting that they seem to back this one, or at least they cooperated with this one.
Well, they cooperated with the other one, too, remember?
Well, yeah, but they didn't like the way that one came out, did they?
Yeah.
So, there's cooperation from the people, but then there's how the author puts it all together.
Yep.
And, yeah, clearly they weren't impressed with that because they've come out against it.
It's really interesting, at least to me, really interesting the backlash from a lot of tech bloggers, sort of the sense that Apple shouldn't be slamming the Isaacson book, that they shouldn't be promoting Becoming Steve Jobs. There's something wrong with this. Obviously, Apple had the authors in a New York Apple store, and they invited Gruber to interview the guys. They've promoted it on the iBook section of the iTunes store. There's been executives who have been given interviews about the book itself. It's been mentioned by everybody, Eddie Q and Schiller and Cook. What do you think of that? Is that okay for these folks to be pimping someone else's book?
Why not?
Yeah, I don't understand why there's backlash about these people promoting a book that they like. Would it be any different if it was a book about National Geographic polar bears? I don't see this as trying to whitewash Steve Jobs' image. He is who he is, and depending on who you are and what knowledge you bring to the table, you'll think what you want to think about Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I don't get it. Why is it so bad?
You haven't read. You said on Amplified a couple of weeks ago that you didn't finish reading the Walter Isaacson book, did you?
I never started.
You never started. Is because you got tired?
No, I never started reading it.
Why not?
I don't know why, but I never started reading it.
It just didn't seem to be.
And I have the new one too.
Yeah.
Never opened it.
Do you plan on reading either of them?
I don't know.
Okay. I got about halfway.
Oh my God, the biggest dog in the world is crossing. He's like the size of a Volkswagen. I'm not joking.
Pictures or we don't believe you. You read Tim Cook's Washington Post editorial over the weekend, right?
Yes.
I'm really fascinated by some of the comments on the Loop on what people are saying about this issue in general of whether or not jobs or cooks should be doing this. What do you think of that?
Well, like Kim, I really don't care what other people think. Kim obviously doesn't because he posted that. I think that, if people want to discriminate, they're going to find a way to discriminate. But to put a law in the books that allows them to do that is wrong. That's just me.
But do you have an issue with Tim Cook inserting himself into these kinds of, for what can be described as local politics?
I don't see how he's really inserting himself. He's giving his opinion on. I mean, this is, a big issue. I mean, how? I don't understand. I said on Twitter, whenever Kim did that, much respect. It takes more guts to stand up and to say something than to stay quiet.
True, but isn't there a danger that he could be affecting the company? He could be affecting people's perceptions of the company by inserting himself into political situations?
You mean discriminating bigots?
Whatever situation it might be. I'm trying to stay away from the details of it and more trying to focus on the bigger picture.
Well, I think that people should be free to voice their opinions. And, if people, like I said, if people are going to discriminate, they will discriminate. And it doesn't matter who it's about. It could be about your race, your sexual orientation, or the fact that you're wearing a blue hat. I don't know. It could be anything.
True, but I'm just...
People are going to do it, and if Kim feels like that is wrong, then he has a right to speak up.
I think
he also pointed out that Apple is an open company. So
I think one of the things that I found interesting about it was that some of the folks have been saying that this is maybe dangerous for Cook, that because of the timing of the Apple Watch and things like that. And I said in the Loop, this is not dangerous for Cook. This is not timing in any way, shape, or form. This is Cook doing what he thinks is right for his company. That this is something he's doing because he believes he should do it. I don't think for a second that Tim Cook is thinking or looking at the bottom line, at the share price, at this person's going to be pissed off at him or whatever it is. He's just doing it because this is what he wants to do. He's standing up for what he believes is right.
Yeah.
And I've got no problem with that.
And, maybe people disagree with him.
Yep.
And, if that's the case, then you can only hope that those people aren't discriminated against the same way that others are right now that Kim's standing up for. Or maybe you hope that they are, so they know how I feel. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, I do agree.
How vengeful you are.
I do agree. It's a tough issue though, because I think that knife slices both ways. That folks who are religious are saying they're being discriminated against too. I think they have an argument. I'm not agreeing with them, but they certainly have a valid argument.
But I don't. When I think of religion, you shouldn't think about something that gives you license to discriminate against other people. When everything that I've been taught about religion over the years as a Catholic is that, everybody is loved and forgiven and treated fairly and all that kind of stuff. Well, then this is wrong under those circumstances. I mean, but I don't know. I'm not a hugely religious person anymore, and I'm sure there are those religious people that could correct me on a lot of things.
I certainly like the fact that Tim Cook stood up. Whether I agree with him or not, I like the fact that he stood up. I wish more people at this level would stand up and say, this is what I believe in. Instead of, we always get a sense that people are trying to be on both sides of the fence and not wanting to offend one side or the other. He's not caring. He knows he's going to piss off a certain minority of people, and he doesn't care. Well, he's saying, this is what I believe in. And I like that.
See, I have enough trouble keeping track of the people that have pissed me off so I can treat them poorly. I can't treat a whole section of people poorly if they haven't even pissed me off. So
exactly.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. Folks, we're talking to Jim Dalrymple from The Loop at loopinsight.com. Jim's here each and every week. From what I see on the website, the Loop magazine is back online. Yay! Go to the iTunes store, do a search for The Loop magazine. And do people have to resubscribe, Jim?
I'm sorry?
Do people have to resubscribe to The Loop magazine?
Some people will, yeah. I don't. Apple sent out letters that their subscription has been canceled and will not be renewed.
Okay. So, folks, you can go ahead and resubscribe now, and also check out Amplify. Jim did Amplify this morning with the very handsome Dan Benjamin. It's also available on the iTunes store. It'll be available up on The Loop pretty soon, too. Jim, thanks for joining me, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. Bloop, bloop. I turn that down. Turn that down. What am I going to do now? We talked about this, Kim and I, by the way. Kim is back now. Wave to the people. Oh, hang on. I don't have you on camera.
People.
There we go. Now you're on camera. Let me close that, and now she's... Interesting. I got more video camera here than you got. What the hell? I don't know. That's interesting. No, I just happen to be noticing. Stop it. Stop it.
Yes. Folks
who... what I'm saying is the video is different.
I'm on it.
No, stop it. Move your wine glass more that way. No, sorry, wine bottle more that way. Oh, that's why. I'm sorry. I see what I've done now. Never mind. Hang on. Actual size, and there we go. Sorry. The app I'm using is called Reflector, and it when I make it go full screen, you see the recording dot, and I don't want the recording dot to be there. You and I talked about this this morning. There was a website called The Great Disconnect or some silliness like that talked about how. Just going to pull up the Great Disconnect .info, a curated collection of articles and information from around the web covering the benefits of being a little less connected. Try it for a day. Go for a day without going to Facebook or any of the other social sites you might traverse on a regular basis. Go a day without email or text messages. Disconnect and just create, reflect, journal, sketch, brainstorm, walk, sit alone, meditate, read a book. What do you think about that?
Like I said, it's not a bad idea. I like that, but I think in today's world, the social media that we can use and still be creative. You can create a poem. You can take a photograph with your iPhone. You can make a video of your kids.
Yep.
That's being creative. You can read a book
I think
using
it depends
technology.
I think it depends on how you use this technology. So there's this whole thing of people saying that technology is depersonalizing. And to a certain degree it is. The internet, sorry, not technology. The internet is depersonalizing, and to a certain degree it is. But I think it's how you use technology. You mentioned, when we talked about this afternoon, you mentioned, I mentioned about Facebook. And you said, no, Facebook allows you to connect with people.
Right. I mean, you can connect, like me, for example. I have sisters that live in New Zealand and Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty awesome that I can receive a video clip that they take on their iPhone and send it to me, like now.
Yeah.
All the way on the other side of the world. You couldn't do that years ago. And Facebook, you can post pictures and let them know what you're doing, and they can access it as and when it suits them and know today what's happening.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you use, like all technology. It can be. I've always thought the technology was neutral. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was neutral. It's how you use technology.
It is, and I'm a parent, so I don't like the way kids use texting these days rather than conversating, having a conversation face to face. So I think they lose something there. As you know, everything in moderation. That's another good thing my dad taught me. Everything's great, but in moderation. But when kids only use texting as a way to communicate with each other, I think they lose a lot.
What do they lose?
Well, they lose that interaction, that intonation in your voice, that facial expression, the connecting with someone, being able to talk to someone while you look at their face and their eyes.
Are you saying it's better for them to be on the phone for several hours as opposed to be on the texting for several hours? That's what our generation did.
Right. That's the middle step. So there's texting, which is nothing. It's all very clinical. It's just words on a text. Then there's on the phone, where at least you hear the intonation in somebody's voice. And then there's face-to-face, which you can't beat.
Shadow's asking, is that Kim? Yes, Shadow, that is Kim. Also, I've seen a couple comments from folks saying that they're getting video artifacts. That might be because of the amount of video we're pushing. It might be because I was doing Skype earlier. Let me know if it clears up while we're not on the call with Jim's. Maybe that makes a difference there. I don't have a problem with kids texting a lot. I don't have, but like you said, it's everything in moderation. I wish we had more, as parents, and I'm not a parent, but as adults, I wish we had more control over how our kids use this technology. From the point of view of, what about the idea that, wouldn't it be better if you could take your phone and configure it so they can only look at Facebook from 5 to 7 p.m. They can only use text from 7 to 9 p.m. You know what I mean? Limit the kids' ability to do these kinds of things. No? Why not?
It's so not a parent.
I said I wasn't a parent.
Yeah. No, that's the problem. Everyone wants the easy way out. Everyone wants technology to, I'm just going to limit them to 2 hours of TV time, or, because they're toddlers, or, 2 hours of evening on the internet. No. How about you sit down and have a conversation with your kids? Talk to them about why you're concerned with how much time they spend texting or on the iPhone or surfing the internet. Mm-hmm. Talk to them. That's what works.
ArcSign in the IRC chat room says, Shawn, social networks bridge time and space. What you do via these bridges is up to the individual. His Shadow, I pointed out a number of times that my alienating technology allows my mom to watch her granddaughters grow up in real time from 900 kilometers away. Mm-hmm. Brian Monroe, yes, Kim makes good points. Mosquito says, I think kids should be kept off social networks until a certain age. Brings up the question, what is that age? If you had kids now At what age do you allow them to, say, have a cell phone, first of all?
Yeah, I think kids should play like old-fashioned play, get fresh air and goof around with other kids and make toys out of twigs until at least they're 8 to 10. Somewhere around there, then maybe introduce technology.
I wouldn't let a kid use a computer until they were 10 years old.
Yeah.
They can use an iPad, a locked-down iPad with only certain apps that were educational, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so they learn the tactile, how to operate one. Yes.
But I've always said that if I had kids and had a computer in the house for the kids, that computer would be in the living room. It's not going in your bedroom. It's not. You wouldn't have a TV in your room. You wouldn't have a phone in your room. You wouldn't have a computer in your room. That stuff is in the family room, in the living room, where I can see what you're doing at all times. And it would be my computer, and it would be known that if you fuck with it, you get whooped.
But you explain to the kids why you're also doing that.
Yeah, agreed.
Educate them.
Mosquito says, I think, his shadow says, kids should be off the internet till 114. Well, that's not right. I don't think that's what he meant. I'm pretty sure it's not what he meant. Photography. Excuse me. One of the things I've been telling folks about in my photography classes is, I think I said this off the top of the show, there are two people in every photograph. There's the photographer and there's the viewer. And the photographer can use his knowledge and the perceived knowledge of the viewer to affect the image. And what I mean by that is what you know and don't know affects your perception of the photograph. And this is the example I use in my class. It's my favorite one of my favorite examples for you folks who are watching the video. This is a picture of a guy named Valentino Rossi. He is a world champion motorcycle racer. He races motorcycles at 210 miles an hour around a track. He's insane. He's just bat poop crazy, because you shouldn't be doing that. That's just stupid. Okay, that's just crazy. You look at this picture, and if you don't know anything about motorcycle racing, you think, oh my God, he's fallen down. He's just sort of flopped over and is about to crash at 200 miles an hour and die. As Jeremy Clarkson said, you will fall off your bike and be killed. So it looks like he's fallen down and is about to crash the motorcycle. If you don't know anything about motorcycle riding, if you know about motorcycle riding, you look at this picture, you go, oh my God, A, that's Valentino Rossi. B, he's got his elbows and his knees are scraping the pavement, and he's going around that corner at probably close to 140 miles an hour. But he's going to make the corner because of your knowledge of the subject matter. I know who this is. I know what he's doing. I know what they're capable of doing on these racetracks, on these motorcycles, on these tires. As Mosquito says, physics! Yes, that's physics in action right there. I've seen videos of these guys where they will have the motorcycles in a static display, leaned over at 61 degrees of lean angle, and you can't hold on. You fall off the bike. Only when the bike is moving at incredible speeds can you actually stay on the bike. It's really kind of cool. So that's the idea of your knowledge informs your opinion of the image. This is another one that Kim and I have argued about. I showed Kim this picture, and she went, oh, that's beautiful. It's this wonderful long road, looks like through the Arizona desert. And tell folks what you thought about the picture.
I thought it looked awesome.
Why?
One, because the temperature, hot. I like it hot. And for riding my motorcycle, it's just easy, taking the scenery, just ride on into the sunset.
So your thoughts and opinions inform your appreciation of this image.
Right.
Because you like hot. You like straight roads because you're a motorcyclist. For me, this picture is hell. This is like the worst picture ever. This to me is just the worst road in the world because it's straight forever. I don't want to ride a motorcycle straight forever. the kind of rider I am, I want turny. I want twisty. I want windy. I want you to take that road and mush it all up and make it go up and down and around corners. I want that road, let's guess that road's, let's say, 50 miles long. Make that road 200 miles long to get to the same point. All I want you to do is make that road go wee, 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 wee. I don't want that road to be straight. So to me, I looked at that picture and I went, ew, I don't like that picture. Even though it is a very pretty picture. Aesthetically pleasing, composed well, all the things you want in a picture. That picture is those things. But to me, as a kind of motorcyclist I am, I look at the picture and go, oh, Jesus Christ, that's awful. A terrible picture. Oh, don't make me look at that picture anymore. Finally, here's another example of that. This is the cutest picture of a little girl. Little, sweet, cherubic little face. You may have seen this picture if you follow me on Twitter. You may have seen me post about this picture. And it's such a cute little picture. Until you learn about the picture, until you find out about the picture. As it turns out, the picture is a photo of a little Syrian girl surrendering to the camera. Well, it turns out the little girl saw the photographer with his long camera lens, and she's Syrian, and she's seen the results and the effects of the Syrian civil war, and the camera terrified her. And she raised her arms in surrender. Utterly heartbreaking. Now that you know about the picture. Before, it's a cute little girl being cute and playful. Now that you are informed about the image, it's a heartbreaking picture. As Monty says, there's something in my eye. I agree. It's just a sad, sad picture. I think the kid's 4 years old. No 4-year-old should be afraid of someone pointing a camera at them. But because she's seen so much in her life, she thought it was a weapon of some kind. So keep that kind of stuff in mind when you are looking for memorable images. When you're looking at a scene, remember, this is something I tell folks all the time. Don't just walk up to a scene and take a picture and walk away. Look at the scene first. Examine the scene. Walk around the scene. Look for different light. Look for different angles. Look for getting higher, getting lower. And then think about think about the image that you're looking for before you even push the shutter button. My best images come from those pictures where I know how it's going to come out before I even push the shutter button. I can already see in my mind's eye how this picture is eventually going to be on a wall or on Flickr or someplace else, because I've envisioned it beforehand. And I've thought about how are people going to perceive this image? How are they going to look at the picture? And maybe it's the exact same as I do, but at least it's one of those things in my little mental checklist of things I think about before I push the shutter button. Encourage you guys to do the same thing. Next up, our YML Prize Girl. She's got stuff. Who do you got stuff from? Tell me.
We got stuff from lots of great people. Pad and Quill, which I think is going to be the first one we give away.
Okay.
First prize. Agile Bits, onepassword.com.
You don't know what that is, do you?
I do, because you use it, which I think is pretty nifty, where you have a million places that all require a password, and this program that Agile Bits offer generates those pretty safe, very safe security passwords for you on your behalf, and all you have to remember is just one.
That's right.
Which is perfect.
One password, that's the name.
Way safer.
Yep.
Way safer. Oloclip.com.
Yes.
Great guys that have the little extension that you put on the corner of your iPhone.
Lenses.
Lens.
Extra lenses. They got the lenses they've got for the iPhone 6. I think it started off with a 4, and they've got 5 and 6. There's a telephoto lens, a macro lens, and a wide angle lens. They're not as good. I've said this to the folks at Oloclip. Not as good as a DSLR, but it's a hell of a lot easier to carry around little tiny Oloclip than it is to carry around 3 big honking DSLR lenses. So if you want to take interesting different photos, but don't want to carry around a DSLR, take a look at the folks at oloclip.com.
And we also have Alfred app from Running with Crayons.
I think it's a funny name. Running with scissors, running with crayons.
What does Alfred app do?
Alfred app is a very cool little app. I've said before, I use it all day, every day. It allows me to manage the menu bar on the app. You're not a Mac user yet. You will be eventually. Allows me to manage the menu bar and do things up there. Let me just pull up their website so I can show the audience on the website. Alfredapp.com is the site. I'll read it off the website. Alfred saves you time when you search for files online or on your Mac. Be more productive with hotkeys, keywords, file actions at your fingertips. It allows things to open up automatically when I just use a key command.
Cool.
It's got this really neat thing called a Power Pack, which is a whole lot of other neat, fun things. Alfredapp.com is the website. Why are all the prices in pounds? I don't know if I've noticed that before.
It's the English, darling.
Well, I know what that means. You can quick search the web. One of the cool things is you can create workflows. You can do one key command and a bunch of things happen. As opposed to doing 8 dozen key commands, you can just do one key command. And for those folks who use Automator, it's similar to the kinds of things that you can use for Automator and themes and a bunch of different things. Go to alfredapp.com to get more information about it. Is that it? Those 4?
Yes.
Okay.
So who are we going to give them away to first?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my mail app right here. And for those folks who have been making sure that anyone's entered the contest recently, no, they have not. Make sure there's nothing in the spam folder. Nope, there is not. So I have this folder on my desktop or in my mail app. It's called YML Contest. And what I do is there are several hundred subscriptions or several hundred entries into here. What I'm going to do is they are randomized. So I can't see any of the names. They're all emails from from service at PayPal. So there's no names I can see, so I can't even cheat and look at the names.
Okay.
So I'm going to go scrolling through the list. And as I scroll up and down, randomly up and down, up. What are you doing?
Going up and down. Okay.
As I scroll around, at any point in time, what are we giving away, first of all?
The pad and quill.
Pad and quill.
Yes.
One of the pad and quill cases.
Awesome.
So what you're going to do is you're going to say stop at a random moment in time, and on whoever name I stop on, they will win. Hang on. Sorry. I got to make sure I get all the entries in here. Some of them are multiples. Oop. There we go. Oop. There's no way, I didn't notice this before, there's no way to select them all and just have it. Okay, there we go. Now I've got them really randomized. And so, see, I got my eyes closed. I'm scrolling.
Should I have my eyes closed?
No, you can't see anything. I'm scrolling up. I'm scrolling down. I'm scrolling up. Anytime you'd like, you can say
stop.
Oh, Jesus. Don't yell at me. It's going to go out to, it's still going up and down, Matthew P. And there's no other name other than Matthew P. Matthew P. has sent you a subscription. He's a verified user, but it doesn't say where he is. So congratulations to Matthew P. Matthew, we will get our YML Prize Babe to let you know that you've won, and then we'll find out from you which iPhone you have, and we'll get the nice folks at Pad and Quill to send you off your very own iPhone.
Awesome.
Your very own Pad and Quill case. Thanks very much for joining our contest, Matthew. Appreciate it. Get emails from you guys. As always, love getting emails from the audience. Send us emails to onair@yourmaclifeshow.com during the week, or to onair@yourmaclifeshow.com. We got a nice long email. I think this is going to be probably the only email we get to from our good friend Scott Randall out there in the Long Island Macintosh User Group, the official Macintosh User Group of Your Mac Life.
Yes,
Did you know that?
Yes, and he doesn't like loud pipes.
We'll get to that.
Ooh.
Welcome, Kim, and a few of my thoughts. Hi, Kim and Shawn. Ladies first. I'm writing this to both of you, so you might discuss this on air. To Kim, I love your voice, and you make a great addition to the show. You represent the view of the average user as opposed to tech-oriented people like myself and Shawn.
Very average, yes.
No, come on now. You're not
No,
average.
I know what he means.
I think I speak for all of us listeners when I say we'd like to see all of you. Hey, pal. Oh, wait. In other words, the face behind the voice. You don't have to turn off your phone in meetings, he says. Just use the Do Not Disturb feature and set it for the amount of time that the meeting will last.
And where is that? He said he'll send me some, pics.
If you like, I can send you screenshots showing you how to do this.
Right.
So, tell him you would like that.
Yes,
There you
Scott,
go.
please.
That was
Thank
easy.
you.
Don't leave your phone in your desk. You never know what nosy eyes might take a look.
Good point.
But with Touch ID, not so much a concern anymore.
No, because mine kind of shuts down and without my fingerprint or password.
He says loud mufflers, or should I say lack of mufflers, are a danger to other motorists. When a loud motorcycle zooms past me, usually between cars, I always get startled because it's unexpected. I always fear that I might swerve and hit the motorcyclist. Your response to that?
Yeah, he's kind of, this whole argument is very 50-50.
Yeah.
I agree with him. Yes, I've done the same thing. I've kind of been, woken up. But hey, should be paying more attention.
That was going to be my statement.
Yeah.
Should
be aware for everything.
Yeah. If someone comes up between lanes on you, that means you weren't paying attention. If they surprise you, whether it's a quiet motorcycle or a loud motorcycle, they surprised you, it means you weren't looking in your mirrors. Yeah. You weren't paying attention.
Expect the unexpected. Another great point that my dad taught me.
That being said, it is certainly rude for a motorcyclist to make that kind of noise. That's my personal opinion.
But it's really rude that, you're on a motorcycle and the classic is, I didn't see you. Yeah. So, you know what? If you don't freaking see me, here you go. Hear me.
Yeah, but if they can't see you, they can't hear you either. Those people aren't paying attention with their ears as well as their eyes.
Yeah, so there you go. Bad drivers. That's what we need to eliminate. Bad drivers, not noisy pipes.
But the point is, the noisy pipes don't help.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. They piss people off. There's a city in Massachusetts that has banned motorcycles, not loud motorcycles, not a city, sorry, a little village, little town, not loud motorcycles, all motorcycles, but they banned them because of loud motorcycles. And this is not just a Harley thing. This is we heard a guy yesterday riding around on a Yamaha that he had put new pipes on that was making the farty noise.
Nearly stole it every time he went to pull away.
Yeah, exactly. But you do that to be noticed. It's the look at me noise. And I don't like that. That's, again, my personal opinion. There's no need to make that kind of noise simply for the fact of, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. It doesn't add, on a lot of bikes, it doesn't add extra power. There's no reason for it except, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me.
I don't think it's all just look at me.
You've admitted that's what it is.
I like the sound. Like, I'm not being funny. I don't fly airplanes, but I love the sound of a loud airplane or anything engines. It makes me smile, makes me giggle. That's just who I am, and I think that's what it does to some people that are into that kind of thing. Same with Formula One, that wah, when they pull off the start line, it's like, oh, it's cool. It's a cool sound. It's not look at me sound. Like Formula One aren't noisy because look at me. It's because they're freaking cool.
Sherry says, we heard that moped go by Jim earlier. Well, he said it was a moped anyway. That was a moped. You could tell by the sound. That was a little two-cylinder, crappy-ass moped. He says, I don't know if you'll be able to do what you said with the Apple Watch. It can store music, but not photos. And I don't know how close you'll have to be to your phone for you to connect with your photo library. I've looked but can't find an answer.
Maybe we'll ask when we go to the Apple inaugural opening bottle smashing, whatever they call it, event.
Scott says, Shawn, even though I don't use Twitter, I found your Twitter 101 very informative, interesting. That's good. Thank you, Scott. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you say that you can choose to contact only a specific person on Twitter without having the rest of the world see it? If that is true, I might have some use for it. Yeah, you can, Scott. It's called direct messaging, or DM, on Twitter. But if that's the only reason you want to use Twitter, there's not really much point. You can email that person. You can use other messaging apps for that person. You can use maybe Facebook, private message them on Facebook. Don't think that's all. If that's all you want to use Twitter for, Twitter may not be the thing for you. The other problem with direct messaging is as we said in the show last week, you will screw it up at some point. Everyone has screwed it up to varying levels of embarrassment. Quite often it's minor embarrassment. It was, you'll see someone on Twitter say, I'm sorry, that was meant for private. And other times it's something like, my boss is an asshole. Oops, that was supposed to be private. So you have to be very, very careful with direct messages or private messaging on Twitter. Many writers are talking about smartwatches and fitness bands being able to count calories burned. They don't explain how they do it. It's a good point, Scott. As a teacher of physics, I wondered about this. Every site I went to gave a different estimate of calories burned per mile of walking. Now, in case you did not know, a food calorie and a heat or energy calorie are not the same thing. 1 food calorie is equal to 1,000 energy calories. I didn't know that. Which of these are they talking about with these fitness apps? From the numbers they're giving, I would think energy calories. Even with that, there are too many factors for these devices and apps to give anything more than a very rough estimate. I agree with you on that, Scott. You would need to enter your body weight or body mass in kilograms. It would need to account for the terrain, walking or running. Uphill uses more energy. And how fit the user is. Now, this is something we talked about in Amplified, and I'm glad Scott is clearing up for us. A very fit user will burn fewer calories because they have to work harder to stress their body system, which makes sense. If you're already fit, to get your heart rate up to a point to increase your fitness is harder for someone who's already fit. For fat guys like me, it's getting up out of this chair. For fat guys like me, it's getting up out of this chair.
Right. Am I supposed to agree? Because, yeah.
For fat guys like me, it's getting up out of this chair.
Yeah.
For fat guys like me, it's getting up out of this chair.
Yes. Okay.
For fat guys like me...
You're not fat.
Thank you!
There you go.
Jeez, that took way too long.
No, but...
Sherry says, God, he is a woman.
Isn't he? Princess. I told you.
Nice. Thanks, Sherry.
But doesn't it? It's still a positive thing because, I mean, I'm not a physicist or a scientist, but Scott makes an, accurate point that there's these different ways of measuring calories, and it depends. If you're already fit, you burn at a different level, your metabolism's different. But everyone's got to start somewhere.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Isn't what it does a positive? It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's a positive. So you've got your start point. So whether it's 100% accurate for your body type and your fitness level to start with, you've still got somewhere to go from and then to, like a goal. I still think it's a good thing for everybody.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Walking faster will also stress your cardio system more and cause you to burn more calories. Also not mentioned is if it allows for the calories you burn just maintaining your body functions. To give you an idea of how much physical work it takes to burn up food calories, I won't make you all crazy by showing the calculations. In order for a 70 kilogram or 154 pound person to burn the calories in a 250 calorie portion of food, which isn't that much. That's a light lunch. That's a sandwich.
Or 2 chocolate bars.
Yeah. He would have to climb 510 flights of stairs. Climbing stairs uses much more energy than walking or running due to the fact you're using your muscles to lift your entire body mass a certain distance from your present elevation. I'm estimating 1 flight of stairs changes your elevation by about 3 meters. Depending on the structure, it can be a bit more or less, but you get the idea. Marketing can be deceiving if they don't give all of the facts. He's right. I know the one of the fitness apps I used when I was riding the motorcycle, it asked you to input your height and weight. And even the apps I'm using now, Pedometer Plus and Moves, and the Apple Health app, if those apps aren't asking you for that information, they're only rough approximations.
Right.
But like you said, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use any of these apps for a dedicated fitness regime of I'm an athlete and I need to lose 10 kilos by the next Summer Olympics kind of thing.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because you know how you feel. You know how you look in the mirror. That's all that matters.
Lesh says, has Kim seen Shawn in shorts yet?
Good question. Yes, and then some. Is that the right answer?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where to go with that.
Oh.
Really not sure. Yeah, Macman. Cinnamon!
Oh, yeah, I forgot that
Yeah,
word.
that's right.
Yes.
I want to say a big thanks to Enrico. It just says Enrico. Enrico Rydell. I think he's German.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yes, I
but he
remember
was
him too.
able to send me a movie.
Oh,
Finding Vivian Mayer. It's a really interesting movie about
oh, the photography
yeah, the
lady.
photography lady. So I want to say a big thanks to Enrico for sending me that. I really appreciate that, Enrico.
I work with the German Enrico.
It's not
cool guy.
It's an odd German name. He's not.
I know it sounds Spanish, but he's not. I work with a Stefan.
Here's an interesting question. I want to. Where'd it go? His shadow said something that I wanted to point out in the IRC chat room, but where'd it go? His shadow says, I was going to say, I know all of you through social networks, and we've never met in person. Do our interactions lose their importance?
That's a really good question because, if you're okay with me saying this, I'm going to say it anyway. We met on one of those chat, what do you call it?
Match.com.
Match.com, right? Sites. And, that's how you start the communication is through texting and dialogue that way. And I wouldn't have thought it would work. But it's actually not a bad thing because I think, especially when you're an adult, mature, you'll broach all variety of subjects for like in word, like because we didn't speak, we just text.
Yeah.
But not just you, but there was one other gentleman that I was texting before you.
Tramp.
But you get to. You either click or you don't. Because I think if you're good with your words, if that's the kind of person you are, you want someone who also is articulate, well-spoken, knows how to put down in words what they want to say in the written word. So it's kind of, I mean, there's pros to definitely that kind of communication.
I'm going to get in trouble for this.
Wow.
I don't think the online interactions diminish anything, but they're not as important as the physical interactions.
Yeah, that's still the be-all, end-all. Yeah. It is.
And I don't mean for boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, or wife, or male, female.
Every.
I would much rather be sitting in a room with all of you guys who are listening to the show right now, even if it's me on stage and looking at you as an audience. I'd much rather be sitting in a room where we're all sitting around having a beer, having the same conversation.
Because you get that energy. You don't get energy.
Yeah.
There's real energy in the human form. Don't knock.
I know. I'm sorry.
Hello. Yeah. Energy.
So I don't think it diminishes it. I just don't think it's, to me, as valuable. It's second best, and in my opinion, it's a poor second best. It's still very important to me, especially for the work I do, because this is what I do. I sit here in this little man cave 16 hours a day. You go out and you see people, and you have bosses, and you have fellow workers, and you have people to talk to, and you have lunch with, and you interact all the time. But to me, all I got is this.
Right.
I sit here looking out that window each day going, I hope she comes home soon. I want to talk to a human being. But
the type of person you would ultimately interact well with wouldn't be someone that would text you and just go, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Because usually the way you text is the way you talk. Because my kids always used to laugh at me because I would always make sure it was grammatically correct and well spelt and punctuated. And and they said if I ever answered a text on their behalf because they were driving, They said their friends knew. Is your mum texting this for you?
That's right.
It's who you are.
His shadow says, you're the best imaginary friends I've ever had.
Aw.
Monty, this is a social network. I would never have met any of the people here without that.
Mm-hmm.
This show and the social aspect of it are the sole reason I went to Macworld the first time, to meet the other YMLers that were also going there in person. MacMan says the reason I'm going to Cancun is to be the best man at one of my best friend's wedding, who I initially met in IRC 20 years ago.
That's cool.
That's very
really cool.
Brian Monroe says, Monty, I agree. I like the social side of podcasting. I'm glad we were able to meet in person, sadly, at the last Macworld, though. Now, Mosquito says, Shawn, I'm unlikely to visit Chilliwack anytime soon, so I'll be happy with Skype or IM to chat with the likes of you. But to me, even that doesn't make up for the personal sitting down across the table with someone having a beer.
Yeah. Plus, I'm a touchy-feely kind of person without that sounding weird. I like to shake hands, touch someone, hug someone. It's cool.
Arcsign says, distance communication is the wide end of the funnel. In person is the small end. Sherry says, I'm not a people person. I don't care for most of the people around here. I wonder if she means IRC.
She's a dog person. She loves her dogs.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's certainly... I certainly really enjoyed meeting... I told you the story of... she's in the IRC chat room. I love telling the story of meeting Lesh at Macworld Expo when she walked up to me and said, hi, I'm Leslie. And
her eyes.
I had no clue who she was, and she did this. And I went, Lesh! So I recognized her avatar from her very pretty... She had beautiful blue eyes.
Yeah.
So while I like making friends on the internet, I still would prefer to meet those same people in real life. Even though a lot of them are different. That's one of the downsides of it, too. People can be more articulate online because, in theory, they have more time to think their thoughts through. When I text you an iMessage, you have time to put that thought in your head and write it out properly, as opposed to when we're sitting across face-to-face, you may blurt something out. It may not be exactly what you meant. Oh, I'm sorry, that kind of stuff.
And also, when you know someone, you know how they may have written it, worded it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes people say things, and if you don't know them, you're like, oh, did they mean that or that?
Yep. Monty, when I win the lottery, there will be a YML party. Man, wouldn't that be nice?
I was just going to say that. You mentioned Macworld.
Yeah.
Do they still do that?
No, unfortunately, it's although the weasels at IDG won't admit it, it's definitely a dead show.
We should do a Your Mac Life World.
You know what? I've been thinking about doing that for at least 10 years. If not that, but something similar to it. The problem is
Where? Right.
That you can get people to come
Without
at a certain date.
Being a pain, yeah, to everybody.
You know, Vancouver's a beautiful city.
It is.
But it's expensive to get here. The only place where the vast majority of YML listeners are in the U.S.
Okay.
The only place to get to cheaply for everybody in the U.S. is Vegas.
Vegas. Woohoo!
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Baby.
I tried several times to get sponsorships for Vegas. I've always had this thought in my head of the Your Mac Life Unconference. And I've arranged it. I've talked to hotels. I've gotten hotels to agree to let us have one of their bars for the Your Mac Life. And the idea of the Unconference is there's not going to be any conference speakers or stuff like that. Friday in the evening, we all meet up at the bar. We drink beer. I give a speech that lasts no more than 5 minutes. Basically, the speech is, have fun. Talk to each other. Saturday morning, you get up, you're hungover, and somebody has said, at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be in this corner of the bar talking about this thing. And this thing could be photography. This thing could be the latest in IT. This thing could be the latest in how to use Pages. I don't care. We're just going to sit in a corner and talk about it. Great. And over in that corner, there'll be someone talking about how to set up a network properly.
That's a cool.
Back here, there's going to be someone going to be talking about how to use iPhoto, whatever it might be. And then at noon, and this is my favorite part, at noon,
we eat.
The hotel teaches you how to gamble.
They're not going to do that.
Every hotel in Vegas will set up a separate gaming area for you and your guests to teach you how to gamble. You ever wanted to play craps? I have no idea how to play craps. I'd love to learn to play craps. I ain't not spending any money on playing craps. I'm not walking up to a craps table and go, $3 $10 on 6. Because I don't have a freaking clue what I'm doing. But you know why they teach you? What the hotel will do is they will have, it can be blackjack, it can be roulette, it can be pie gal, whatever game you want to learn how to play. They'll set it up for you and your group because they want you to gamble. They want you to learn how to play roulette. They want you to learn it. Yeah.
Lose your money.
Well, you're going to lose your money anyway.
Yeah.
But they want you to learn how to play these games. Well, wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
Hey, noon, we're all meeting over there. We're all going to learn how to play craps. We don't know a damn thing about craps. Let's all go learn how to play craps. And then that evening, we go on a photo shoot maybe. We got a sunset shoot out in the desert. And then that evening, we get drunk again. And then
eat.
And then we eat. And then on Sunday, some people go home. This is what I've been trying to do. But the thing is, I'd love to be able to have that sponsored by somebody. Have some company, Agile Software, Pad and Quill, somebody sponsor that so I can make the trip cheaper for everybody. What I want to do is be able to say, all right, you get a $100 discount, or we pay for your hotel. Because you can get hotels. Here's the other genius part of my idea. You know when we do this? August.
Why?
Because it's hotter than shit in Vegas in August. And no one goes to Vegas in August.
Not as often, no.
So it's cheap.
But can't we piggyback on the back of some other like convention?
No, because the prices go up for conventions.
Right.
You look at like CES is the big convention in Vegas. CES, say it starts on Friday. A Wednesday night, the hotels are $50. Thursday night, the hotels are $100. Every hotel doubles their price before a convention. And we wouldn't be staying on the Strip either. We'd be staying in downtown on Fremont Street, which is a really cool, funky area.
Yeah, I like it there.
The Four Queens Hotel in August has rooms for $50 a night.
Yes.
Dirt cheap. And they'll give us a bar. And they'll teach us how to gamble. And people say, well, it's really hot in August. You don't go outside in Vegas.
It's air conditioned.
Everything's air conditioned. You don't ever. You walk outside to go to the next casino. I think that'd be a blast.
Yeah. I'll ponder that.
Les says, I have zero desire to go to Las Vegas, no matter how cheap the trip. Sherry says, I spent 6 days in Vegas, spent $1. Les, get over it. You'll be seeing us. Brian Monroe, no, stay in the Strip. Les, August in the desert? Are you nuts? Hiker BC, pick the right weekend. Bette Midler and Elton John play Caesars. Shoot me in the head.
I was just going to say, what?
MacMan got rooms at Mandalay Bay for $100 a night in November. Wasn't Macworld in New York City in July, 95 degrees hot enough? Yes. It was stupid hot, and it was also humid, and New York City in July stinks to high heavens. Vegas doesn't stink.
No, it doesn't.
It's dry heat, and again, you're not going outside.
I love dry heat.
I don't care. I hate heat in general, but you're not going outside in Vegas.
No.
You go outside to walk from the front door of one hotel to the front door of the other hotel. And in this case, we wouldn't be leaving the hotel. We'd have no reason to leave the hotel.
Walk in the evening. Walk in the evening.
Sly says she'd love to see Bette Midler. Monty, I could stand and watch the Bellagio fountain for hours. Yeah, I'm with
love
Monty.
that.
I'm with you. I could do the same thing.
Yes.
I want to stay in the Bellagio in one of those rooms that overlooks.
I love that, and the restaurant that overlooks that sticks out into the fountain area.
Actually, you know what? A better restaurant is across the street, the Paris restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Because it looks towards
right
the Bellagio.
at it.
It's very cool.
I love it there. I love
Mosquito,
Vegas.
while Claire de Lune plays in the background. Yeah, exactly. Dave D, I've been to conferences in Phoenix in August. It's tolerable.
Phoenix,
the
I
evenings are
love
great.
Phoenix. I love Arizona.
All kinds of possibilities. All kinds of possibilities. Or, you know what? You can all just join us in Cuba. Oh, that's right. You can't. You're Americans. You're not allowed to go. I hope they lift that embargo one of these days. Completely.
It's so silly.
It's silly. It's been silly for years. It's just pointless.
It's just the world.
Anyway, folks, that's it for tonight's show. I want to say thanks very much to Jim Dalrymple from The Loop at loopinsight.com for joining us. Don't forget to check him out at Amplified on the iTunes Store and 5by5.tv/Amplified. And if you get a notice from Apple saying you've been unsubscribed from The Loop magazine, resubscribe. Do Jim a solid and resubscribe to The Loop. Apple screwed him over. Help him out by unscrewing him over by subscribing to The Loop magazine. I want to say thanks to you guys for being tuned into the show. Don't forget, as always, you can subscribe to Your Mac Life for $2, $5, $10, $15 a month, whatever you so choose. And you get to get fabulous prizes given away by the Prize Girl. I want to say thanks very much to the Prize Girl, Kim, for finally being on camera. Yay!
Thank you. Hopefully I didn't scare too many people away.
Peer pressure works.
Yes, it does. My peeps. Your peeps.
Maybe on next week's show, we can introduce the YML mascot.
We could. Gromit.
If he's not busy sleeping.
Sleeping in under a blanket somewhere.
It's like a giant cat. That dog sleeps a lot.
He does, yes.
Yeah, next week we'll do. Brian Monroe says, glad that YML Kim could be on camera. So am I, Brian. I've always said the show's more interesting when I've got someone to talk to, but it's even more interesting when I have someone to look at, too. Oh, well. And it's even more interesting when someone's a goober. MacMan, it's nice having a co-host again. Monty says, we saw Gromit last week. I don't think we had... Oh, point. Look up.
Oh, you got another...
Actually, there's an app I use called, for you photographers out there, it's a free app called Magic Hour. And what it does is it tells me when Magic Hour is starting and when sunset is and when sunrise and sunset is.
Okay.
So it gives me like, I've set it up so that an hour before Magic Hour, it says Magic Hour is about to begin.
Get ready to take photos.
And I can go take photos during Magic Hour. So it's a free app. Magic Hour is the app on the iTunes store. Check it out. Monty says Magic Hour is awesome. MacMan is nice having a co-host again. Sherry, Kim's gangsta. I saw that tat sleeve. Love it. Don't do that. maybe Sherry. Maybe on next week's show we'll get Kim to explain her tattoo and show us her other ones. Huh?
Mm-mm.
She doesn't have any other ones. That's the only one, right?
Yes.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any other ones.
Yes.
I went to my happy place. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Folks, thanks very much for listening. As always, I appreciate you guys. Send us emails to onair@yourmaclifeshow.com anytime during the week, or to Shawn at yourmaclifeshow.com, or to Kim at yourmaclifeshow.com. Until next week, as always, I've been Shawn King, and you've been tuned into your... I'm sorry. I forgot how to do this. Back this up. As always, she's been
Kim.
And I've been Shawn King, and you've been listening to Your Mac Life. See ya! Your Mac Life. Oh, I forgot to mention, we're going to do a Diary of a Madman right after this, so stay tuned for that later on. It's not live, but it will be next week. Bye.